Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Jennifer for the Median, and we are in the electrified GV70 on this somewhat crisp fall day. Spent several days with this thing so far, and I kind of like it. I wish the range when it was fully charged was more than the roughly 250 miles that Genesis claims this gets. I was at 80% charge this morning and had a range of 199 miles. Oh, and there's one thing I don't like. This has iPedal. So iPedal is basically one pedal driving. Click on the left, and now iPedal's active. Click on the right, iPedal's gone. Okay, I like it on. I love one pedal driving, so you really don't need to use the brake. What I was gonna say is when you get in, you have to start iPedal every single time. The GV70 will keep you in the same drive mode that you've been in when you get in and out, but you do need to redo iPedal. So normally iPedal, one pedal driving, will, here we come up to a stop sign right here. I take my foot off and we're not stopping quick enough, so now I'm putting the brake on. It's not, in this GV70, it's not as powerful as I want it to be. It's not as brakey as I want it to be. And even when you go to a full stop, it doesn't really stop. Like it keeps inching forward, coasting forward just a little bit. This one also doesn't have different levels of brake regen. So most of the time you start with nothing and then you click it on, and you get a little bit more. There's like 3 levels. We had an Ioniq 6 by Hyundai, parent company to Genesis, and you know, you've got 1, 2, and 3 as far as intervention for iPedal, and then iPedal active. So this one's either on or off. This, of course, has all the myriad safety features, pedestrian detection around the things, and all the stuff with the braking and the stopping and the alerting if the things are going to come at you or hit you. There's the highway driving assist, lane keep assist, Distronic cruise control to just keep you driving. And you know what? This thing is amazing at just basically driving you. But it's really cool how, like, the instrument cluster, which is beautiful, especially in this top trim where you got the 3D mode and all that sort of stuff, shows everything's green because you're in the lanes. And obviously on a highway like that with really good markings, the GV70 has no problem keeping you doing what you need to be doing. It does like you to put hands on the wheel, but you don't really need to keep your hands on the wheel. You can just kind of jiggle the steering wheel every now and again, and it thinks you're paying attention. Though there is a little camera system down here in the instrument cluster that is supposed to be watching my eyes. You got your Prindle over here, which is just a dial. It works really well. It's not hard to figure out. Up in front of that is your sort of navigation knob for this monster screen you've got up here, which is also a touch screen. There are different drive modes. You've got Eco, Comfort, Sport, and then the My mode that you can go and set all of the different things into, like, whatever you want. So Eco, it's going to do everything it can to preserve battery power, Comfort, comfort steering, comfort acceleration on the pedal, on the throttle, and comfort steering, suspension, throttle. Sport. If you go into Sport, the seat actually squeezes you because it thinks you're going to drive really, really hard. And I will tell you, the throttle pedal is a lot more aggressive in Sport than any other mode. I'm going to switch back to Comfort here. And I didn't touch the throttle, but maybe you can tell, maybe you can't, but it backed off immediately because the angle of attack for the throttle pedal is different in the different modes. So that's quite interesting. Heated steering wheel is nice. The ride is good. It's not jarring in any way, shape, or form, even in sport mode. It's just a really nice, comfortable ride. you feel like you're in a substantial vehicle. You feel like there's some heft to this thing. And of course there is. It's an electric vehicle with a monster battery pack and 2 motors, right? Motor on the front, motor on the back. So you have all-wheel drive. And you can, woo! This is even in comfort. You know, this thing zippity-doo-dahs like nobody's business. It sucks up juice doing it. But man, is that awesome. Even at highway speed, this thing just gets up and hauls, which is pretty cool. A lot of times you get up into 70, 80 miles an hour and EVs are like, I don't want to keep pushing faster. But this thing has no problem doing that. So, turn in, fine. It's an SUV. Come on, you know, I mean, that's fine. Let me do it in sport, okay? Ooh, yeah, it's crisper. It also feels a little bit heavier, just a titch, but steering response is quicker in sport. So is throttle response. Braking response really doesn't change. Suspension's a touch firmer, not hugely different. These seats are quite comfortable. We're in a top trim here, decked out in Seville silver exterior, which is a beautiful metallic-y paint, and this beautiful two-tone white, glacier white interior, dark up top, some contrasting stitching, and of course you get this microfiber suede headliner in here, which is nice to touch, but also keeps sound levels down a little bit more than like a leather or harder material would. This cabin has proven to be quite lovely, and it's quiet. There's a few other electric vehicles that I've been in recently where at highway speeds you're getting a lot of road noise, a lot of wind noise, and the GV70 is not that. This vehicle is quiet. I love that Genesis keeps some buttons. There's a map button down here, a nav button down here, a favorites, the radio, media, setup. You can get through all of those things just by hitting a button here, which is great. And then home and back and menu. Like, the layout in here is really quite good. The design is, in my opinion, pleasing. It's nice and attractive to look at. And the driving experience is rewarding. So the team at Genesis really did their homework to capitalize on everything that an EV can offer, other than range. I mean, 250 miles on a full charge is not a lot. Like 350 should be the bare minimum. Most cars, you get into gasoline engines and you got 300 plus miles of range, typically. There's also this fun little boost button on the steering wheel, which gives you sort of 429 horsepower with both axles. Normally, if I hit boost like I am right now, whoo, it just took off. I didn't change my foot on the throttle at all. Gauge just turned red. I got a countdown because I get 10 seconds of boost where it takes me up to 483 horsepower. Now boost is gone. Can I boost again? I can boost again. And you can turn it off and save it. That's kind of fun. If you're passing somebody, you can just hit boost and you get extra boost. You get extra power. Pretty sweet. So, all in all, Genesis did a great job with this thing. I just wish the range was about 100 miles more on a full charge. Would you take this over an internal combustion engine one? Or would you rather stick with the ICE one and feel that power? Let us know. All right, check this out. While Genesis doesn't have any internal combustion engine GV70s in their fleet anymore, my local dealership, Bergstrom, thank you Bergstrom, just put me in this 2.5T GV70 Prestige. So this is the turbocharged 4-cylinder with 300 horsepower, as opposed to the dual motor monster beast that I was just in that has that 429 horsepower. Unless you're on boost, then you have 483 horsepower. So, layout, exactly the same. Still quite pretty. Well, let's see how gas compares to electric. First thing I notice is this 2.5T GV70 feels lighter. Like, considerably lighter. Alright. We're in Eco. That was Comfort. Now we're in Sport. The gauge cluster is a little bit different. Instead of the power and so on and so forth, charging versus power using and all that, it's just a speedo and a tack. Speedo on the left, tack on the right. Now that I'm in Sport, the needles are red. They're glowing because red means sport. Red means fast. Right? Isn't that what we're taught? Oh. It's weird to take your foot off the gas pedal and not have it automatically slow down if you're really used to that I pedal. Remember that if you have an internal combustion engine car and an EV that has I pedal, one touch, one pedal driving. And of course there is a bigger engine than this that you can get in the GV70, a turbocharged 6-cylinder, 3.3 I believe, with more power than this. But this feels really like fun. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Oi. Brakes are good. Don't have any trouble hauling this down. Oh, Viper GTS over there. Nice. So the tack swings this way, speedo swings that way. That's kind of fun. Suspension's just soaking everything up. But you do feel bumps in the road a little bit more in this version of the GV70. My assumption is going to be that's because the EV has so much weight down low, it just smooths everything out. Where this, without that weight, you feel things a little bit more. I do like the light, playful nature of this one, however. I think if it were up to me, I would opt for the 6-cylinder 3.3, I believe it's 3.3, GV70 internal combustion engine until the range in the electrified GV70 is 350 or better. But that's my personal preference. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on The Medium.